Hello again, everyone. I hope you guys are ready for this next Christmas review because I'm gonna be reviewing one of my first ever VHS tapes. So, given that Christmas is on the way, what better one should we look at than Christmas itself? So let's go over the history of this release. Christmas was first released onto VHS on September 24th, 2002 by Paramount Home Entertainment. This was to commemorate the 90th anniversary of Paramount. So, like many other tapes, this is one of many that has the 90th anniversary logo on it. When I was late to this so-called Christmas party, I was very late, as I didn't get my copy until 2020 when I got it with James Learns a Lesson and Percy's Chocolate Crunch. I don't really know how many of these 90th anniversary tapes there are, and I don't know how rare they are, but I'm gonna say they're probably common to come by online. A French cover was released in Canada, but I don't really know how rare these are as well. Also to mention, on newly sealed copies, it showed that one of the episodes on it wouldn't air until December 1st of the same year. But back on topic, around 2004, the tape was released without the 90th anniversary logo on the tape. Around the same year, the DVD version of it, named Dora's Christmas, was released on October 26, 2004, again by Paramount Home Entertainment. Also to mention, in the same year, a Spanish version named Navidad was released. It looks good, but I don't understand why we need a Spanish version of the release when the DVD might have the Spanish audio on it. Then, after a 5-year hiatus, on October 6th, 2009, Paramount Home Entertainment released the DVD one final time with a new art style. It looks cool and all, but and if I'm being honest, I would definitely go for this. And let's not forget, you can also find a promotional copy of this release as well. Alright, so that does it with the history. Now let's go on to the episodes. So Christmas contains 2 episodes, both on the VHS and the DVD, as well as 2 bonus episodes on the DVD. A Present for Santa, Rapido Tico, Quack Quack, and School Pet. So let's begin with our first episode, A Present for Santa. It's Christmas Eve, and Dora and Boots wanted to give Santa a present of their own for delivering presents to them. But when he doesn't get his present, they go to the North Pole to bring it to them. Let me be the first to say that this episode is a good one. For the first episode on the release, this episode is awesome. I think this is a perfect episode for the release. Call me crazy, but this is the perfect balanced episode. A Christmas release obviously has to have this one, and it's an icon for a show like this. Even though some people wouldn't consider it a heavy favorite, I certainly would. And even though the title of it may suggest something odd, the plot of the episode and the scenery make this a rocket-fire explosion of amazingness. For the first episode on the release, it's f***ing awesome, and one I could watch again. 10 out of 10. Our second episode is Rapido Tico, or Fast Tico, for those who don't speak Spanish. When Boots' truck falls out of the mail van, it ends up on a mountain of snow. Dora and Boots then accompany Tico to help them get to the mountain. I must point out about the elephant in the room. This episode is a good selection for the one for the DVD, but it's not. But I must question why the literal would Swiper challenge them to a race. That's just messed up. And it's not like he had a grudge against them, because he doesn't. And there's literally no episode showing that. Despite that, I think even though this was the perfect episode for the VHS, I wouldn't consider it the best for the DVD. Because it's not a Christmas episode. It's a good way to close off the VHS, but not the best for the DVD. If I had to rate this episode properly, I would have to at least give it an 8 out of 10, but in terms of the DVD, I'm gonna rank it a 5 out of 10. The only saving grace of it is that it actually works on the VHS. Other than that, I couldn't care less anymore about it. Moving on with the third episode, Quack Quack, or Dora's Duck. When a duck strays away from its pond, Dora and Boots jump into their color-filled book in order to bring him home. While this episode does sound like a good one in terms of visuals, I'm just gonna say it. Why the hell is this episode on here? It's not a bad one, but it's not a Christmas episode at all. I think this was just a weak attempt to get this episode on the release. And call me crazy, but this isn't but I would consider this a better fit for another release outside of the winter holidays. But overall, given the visuals, it is pretty good. If I had to rate this episode properly, I would have to at least give it a 7.5 out of 10 for its visuals, but in terms of this DVD, I have to give it a 3 out of 10. And now we have our final episode, School Pet. When the school pet strays away from the school, Dora and Boots go on the search for it and bring it back home from the pyramids. Well, we're at the end of the release, and call me crazy. And what the actual? It's not a Christmas episode. This is just I'm not saying this is also a bad episode, but it's not a Christmas release episode at all, or even a winter episode for that matter. And with that said, I'm not saying it's a bad one. It's enjoyable, but I wouldn't consider it a episode to pick for the release. So overall, while it is a decent way to close out the DVD, I wouldn't really consider it a good episode to close out the tape. Overall, I give this episode a 6 out of 10 in general, and on this DVD, a 3.5 out of 10. Other than that, I couldn't care less about the episodes without Christmas elements. So what do I think about Christmas? After analyzing the episodes on here, the release is something else. Don't get me wrong, the VHS is fine, but as for the DVD, what the actual As I already mentioned, A Present for Santa is the perfect episode for the release because it is a Christmas and winter one, but the bonus episodes put it in a box of its own, and it's unlike anything that I've ever seen. And as much as this episode shouldn't be on here, Rapido Tico actually works in a way because it was on the original VHS release. I don't know who picked these episodes, but whoever picked the bonus ones didn't think smart enough because it was a terrible idea on their part. And as much as I do kind of consider it a guilty pleasure, I don't even like the DVD in general. because it was a terrible way to feature the episodes on the bonus episodes onto the DVD. Had they waited until 2009 and replaced the bonus episodes with Dora Saves the Snow Princess, I think this would have been a perfect release. But I'm not going to bash anyone who likes the DVD. If any of you are looking for the VHS tape, I'd highly recommend getting it. But if you are going to, go for the 90th anniversary tape. It's a lot nicer. And for those who are looking for the DVD, I will recommend getting it. But if you're looking for something that at the very least has a somewhat perfect concept, I wouldn't bother, because the 2 bonus episodes will raise eyebrows and confusion. And that does it for this review. I'd like to say thank you to all you viewers for watching, and feel free to check out my playlist featuring my other reviews that is in the description. So what am I going to do for the next review? Well, with Christmas Day is approaching, and I want to get one more Christmas release reviewed before I get to the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day specials. So, to fill out time, I'm going to be taking a look at one of my favorite releases. And we're going to go to Mount Everest for the best Christmas I could wish for. See you guys next time.